Hi, I'm Paula from Happy Yoga Wales, and this is a yin yoga practice for the spine. And the intention with this practice is to help the energy to flow along the whole length of the spine with ease. So we're going to be working with the breath and the chakra system. On a more physical level, this is really going to help ease any tension in the back, as well as loosen up the fascia that runs around the whole of the torso. So hopefully by the end of this practice you will feel great. So we're going to start today lying on our backs. So come on down. And if it's comfortable, stretch the legs out long. So we're in our Shavasana pose, so legs reaching out long, arms either side of you. If this isn't comfortable, you can bring the soles of the feet to the ground and just let the knees come together here. But wherever you are, just really focusing on this length through the spine, just tucking in the chin slightly. And take a big breath in here. Pause at the top and exhale, sigh out. And just allow the body to settle, just take a moment. And as you breathe in this comfortable lying down position, just see if you can visualize the breath coming in through the very crown of the head and flowing down the whole length of the spine, right the way down to the base of the tailbone. And then as you exhale, it will come up the front of the body. So from the front of the pelvis, up through the front of the torso, the throat, and then out through the nose. So obviously we breathe in and out of our noses into our lungs, but visualizing the energetic quality of the breath can really help to relax the body and bring your attention to any areas where you feel a little bit of tightness or some energetic blockages. So just taking a few more rounds of breath like this, visualizing the energy in the breath coming in through the crown of the head, flowing all the way down the back of the body, and then exhaling up the front of the body. And then just taking your last breath like this. And then relaxing into a natural pattern. And so before we come into our first pose of the day, maybe setting yourself an intention here. I like to use affirmations. And in keeping with this idea of flowing, today our affirmation is, I flow easily through the challenges of life. And then just rolling onto one side here and making your way up to a seated position. So we're going to come into our first pose, and this is actually the only pose that we do standing up in yin yoga. So we're going to come to standing. Bring the feet about hip distance apart, or a little bit wider if that's more comfortable. Just getting all the the grass and leaves off my mat here. And then bending the knees as much as is comfortable so that you can get the spine nice and long. So we're really coming into this is called dangling, so coming into this dangling pose here. Letting the spine traction with the weight of the head, the weight of the arms. My hands are on the floor, but you can hold opposite elbows if that's comfortable. But really we're looking for as little effort as possible here. And we're holding all our poses today for about 2 minutes, no more. And just checking where your weight is in the feet here, so we don't want to sink back into the heels or come too far forwards into the toes, just keeping the weight even between the whole of the sole of the foot. And maybe you'll come back to that orbiting of the breath, so inhaling through the crown of the head. And exhaling up the front of the body. Soften in a little bit more with each exhale. And for these last few breaths, see if you can relax the forehead, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders just a little bit more. Maybe you're noticing some changes in sensation the longer we stay here. And that is the beauty of yin. And then taking a big breath in here. Pause at the top. And exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Nice. So from here, just bring the fingertips down to the ground and then take the toes out a little bit wider to a diagonal and then sink the hips down. We're coming down into our yogi squat. So I like to kind of encourage the thighs to open up, so rotating away from the centre of the body to help me find a bit more space. Now if this isn't accessible, you can always come up onto the balls of the feet and just rest the fingertips down. So just finding a place where you can relax and soften a little bit into the pose. You can always pop a block underneath your here as well. So we don't need any props for this practice, but they're always nice to have when we're doing our yin practice. So sit nice and tall, reach through the crown of the head and just rest the hands wherever is comfortable. Maybe bringing the palms together at the heart. And again, softening here. We're here for about 2 minutes once more. Let the belly be soft as you inhale. Just scanning through the body here, checking for anywhere where you might be holding a little bit of tension or engaging some muscles that don't need to be engaged. Softening through the shoulders, the back, the glutes and hips, and even relaxing the calves and the toes. On your next inhale, fill all the way up, let that belly expand. And gently let it go out of the lips. Nice. So bring the fingertips down to the ground and just lift the hips up nice and slow as the head comes down. So we're coming back into this dangling pose, but we're not going to hold it this time. So just gently rock the hips side to side. You might feel some pulsing or some heat here. This is called the rebound in yin. So when we release our poses, we get a fresh rush of nutrients and blood into these areas. So good for our joints and our connective tissues. Okay, so we're going to come down to a seat. So just coming onto hands and knees for a moment here. And we're just going to take a few rounds of cat-cow. So bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips. As we inhale, let the belly come down, chest comes forwards, maybe gazing up towards the forehead, the third eye. Exhale, draw the belly button in, press the ground away as you separate the shoulder blades and look back towards the thighs. And just moving with the breath through these two positions. So inhaling, belly down, chest forwards, into cow. Exhaling, drawing the belly button in, squeezing the glutes here. And one more of each. Feeling that flow of energy. Maybe saying our affirmation, I flow easily through the challenges of life. And then coming back to a neutral position. And we're going to come all the way down onto our bellies. So setting up here for a Sphinx pose. So one of the best poses you can do for the back, countering all the time we spend at a desk and driving and bent forwards. So stretch those legs out long from the hips. And bring the forearms in front of you so that their hands are reaching forwards. You can have palms down or palms up, whatever is more comfortable. Broaden through the collarbones and just let the shoulders sink down. And see if you can let the heart space just melt forwards here. And then gazing down at the mat. You can close the eyes again here. And the closer the elbows are in towards the hips, the more intense this is going to be. So it'll be a deeper back bend. The further towards the top of your mat, the less intense. And if this is too much, then anytime you want to, just coming down, bringing the hands on top of the other, one on top of the other, and resting the head down, lying on the belly in crocodile pose. So there's a little bit of effort involved in Sphinx pose. I always feel like there is anyway. So just seeing if you can soften the shoulders, relax the jaw. And with every exhale, just release that little bit more. And then when you're ready, take a big breath in, feel the belly rise. And exhale, sigh it out, bring the hands one on top of the other, take the elbows out wide, and just rest the forehead down on the hands here. And just taking a few moments to let the back settle. And then bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, just gently press your way back up to a tabletop position. So from here, we're going to come down onto our backs. So sitting down on the bottom, bringing the legs round to the outside. Come on down. Okay, so stretching the legs out long. We're going to take both feet over to the right corner of the mat. So we're setting up for banana asana. And if you've practiced with me before, then you'll know that I love this pose for many reasons, not least its name. So with the feet at the top of the bottom right corner of your mat, then just press gently into the elbows and lift up the upper body and slide the shoulders slightly over to the right as well. So you're making this banana shape with the body. So the hips are facing straight up towards the sky. And the feet and the shoulders are over towards the right. You can stay here, or you can cross that left ankle over the right for a little bit more sensation down the outside of that thigh, so the IT band of your left leg. You can even reach the arms overhead. But just finding some softness here, so we don't need to go too deep into this pose. So remembering our yin practice is about finding that comfortable edge and just staying here in stillness, allowing time to slowly open up the body. And maybe you're still breathing, orbiting the breath in through the crown of the head, down the back of the body, and exhaling up the front of the body, out of the nose. And softening that little bit more just for our last few breaths. And on your next inhale, fill all the way up. And exhale, sigh out. Slowly bending the elbows and crossing the ankles if they were crossed. And just bring the feet in towards the hips again for a moment here. Noticing all those sensations down the left side of the body. So opening up through the sides of the torso can really help the breathing as well. Just creating more space for the lungs and the rib cage to move. Okay, so let's go to the other side. So bringing the left, both feet, to the left corner of the mat. And then pressing the elbows into the ground, just gently pick yourself up and shuffle the shoulders just a few inches over to the left. You can stay here, or maybe it feels good to cross that right ankle over the left and to stretch the arms overhead. And for our last few breaths, taking that little scan of the body, just noticing, observing anywhere that might be holding on to a little bit of tension and seeing if you can soften that. when you're ready, take a big breath in. And exhale, sigh out. I could stay there all day. So bend the elbows, sliding them down, and uncrossing the ankles. Bring the feet to the ground, just in front of the hips. Hands on the belly. Again, just take a moment here. There's no rush. Wind's picking up. Okay, so our last pose we're going to do today is just a simple reclined twist. So keeping the feet where they are, just press into the feet, lift the hips off the ground just an inch, and then slide them a few inches over to your left, and then place them back down. And then let the knees come over to the right. So you can stay here with your legs kind of staggered like mine are, or maybe you prefer to stack your left knee on top of the right. And then the left arm can just reach out long away from the body, either gazing up towards the sky or looking over that left shoulder towards the left fingertips. So finding space between the left shoulder, left hip, and then softening here. And then taking your last breath in here, inhale, and sigh out. And then draw the belly button in just a little bit as you bring the knees back towards centre, facing up to the sky. Pressing firmly into the feet one more time, lift those hips, and this time take the hips over to the right, just a couple of inches. Lowering the hips back down. And then letting both knees come on over to the left. Either leaving them as they are or stacking the right knee on top of the left. And then reaching the right arm out away from the body, maybe gazing towards that right hand, or just looking straight up if that's more comfortable for the neck. Take a big breath in and exhale, sigh out. Draw the belly button in, Bringing the knees back through centre, bring the feet to the ground. So soles of the feet on the ground, just in front of the hips. One more time, let the knees come together here. Bring the hands to the belly. And then when you're ready, taking the legs out long, finding your Shavasana pose, or you can stay with the feet on the ground just as we were. So bringing the shoulder blades underneath you, wherever you are, find a bit of space here. Make sure the chin is drawn in just slightly, so it might help to pick up the head, lengthen the back of the neck, placing the skull back down. And one more time, let's take a big breath in here. And as you exhale, just let the body sink into the ground. Letting go of any control over the breath, any visualization. Just allowing yourself a few moments here to completely relax. Knowing that you've done a whole lot of good for your body and your mind, your energy. And just becoming aware of the breath, flowing in and out with ease. Saying to ourselves one more time here, I flow easily through the challenges of life. And starting to deepen the breath, sending that energy all the way down the spine and out to the limbs, to the fingers and toes. Finding some movements here. And then just doing what feels good, maybe taking the arms overhead for a stretch. Bending the knees one at a time. And then coming on over to one side, just pausing in a little ball here. And then using the hands when you're ready to support yourself, coming up to a seat. I really am covered in leaves. It's autumn here in Wales and it's beautiful. Okay, so sit nice and tall, roll the shoulders back, stacking the shoulders above the hips. Let's take one more breath in together. So inhaling through the nose, visualize that energy flowing all the way down through the spine. And then exhale, sigh out. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I do hope you've enjoyed this yin yoga practice for the spine and to help the energy flow through your body with a little bit more ease. If you notice that there were any blockages, any areas that felt like they needed a little bit more work, then it might be that the chakra, so our energy wheels, our energy centers associated with that area of the spine, maybe need a little bit of attention. And each chakra is associated with something different in our lives. So if you'd like to know more about this, then you can join me for my one-to-one program where we go through each chakra and look at how it might affect our lives, both on and off the mat. So you can find more details about that at happyyoga.wales, where you'll also find the on-demand library with lots and lots of other videos for you to practice along with me. And if you're here on YouTube, then please do give this video a like and a subscribe and let me know what you thought of this practice. And I look forward to seeing you again on the mat very soon. Namaste.